Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening to my lecturer. In chair for my lecturer for this subject, electrical machine and drive. In chair Muhammad Kamal bin Jaafar. Today, I want to present you about direct online motor starter. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Zamani Amni bin Muhammad Zani. My number matric is AA190202 and I want to present you about direct online motor starter. Okay, we go through to the introduction. DOL is the easiest method of the engine starter for the induction motor. For the method of the engine starter for the induction motor has three. One of the method is DOL. For the two, it is star delta starter, and for the three is auto transformer starter. But this method DOL is the easiest method for the engine starter for the induction motor. Okay, this approach use the power to close the contactor and add maximum line voltage to the motor terminal. This method will allow the engine to produce the maximum starting torque 100% starting torque and have the shorter period of acceleration. Okay, we go through to the basic circuit for this DOL motor starter. Okay, the direct online starter circuit diagram can be divided into two parts. One is the power circuit diagram and two is control circuit diagram. This is the DOL starter power circuit diagram I show you. Okay, the power circuit diagram of DOL starter consists following parts. One is MCCB or switch fuse unit. Two is motor protection circuit breaker MPCB or OL relay. The power of conductor of AC3 rating. The power circuit is responsible for providing the power supply to the motor. Its job is to carry large amount of current required to power the motor. Okay, this is for the power circuit diagram. For the second diagram is the control circuit diagram. Control circuit diagram is as following component. The control circuit has following component. Auxiliary contactor, start push button, stop push button, indication lamp, on, off or overload. Okay, this is for the control circuit diagram. We go through the characteristic for DOL. For DOL, power or HP range, this type of starting is suitable for small motor below 5 HP, 3.75 kW. We know that 1 HP is equal to 746 watt. For last rating motor ranging from 5 HP to 25 HP, oil immersed DOL starter are used which provide insulation against sparking on contact point and hence increase the life of starter. For the starting current for this DOL is 6 to 8 full load current. For the starting torque is maximum 100%. Okay, principle of operation. To start, the contactor is closed, applying full line voltage to the motor windings. The motor will draw a very high inrush current for a very short time. The magnetic field in the iron and then the current will be limited to the log rotor current of the motor. As the motor accelerates, the current will begin to drop, but will not drop significantly until 85% of synchronous speed. The actual starting current curve is a function of the motor design and the terminal voltage, and it is totally independent of the motor load. The motor load will affect the time taken for the motor to accelerate to full speed. Okay, for the next point is, provided the torque developed by the motor exceed the load torque at all speed during the start cycle, the motor will reach full speed. Okay, we go to the next point. The acceleration torque is the torque developed by the motor minus the load torque and will change as the as the motor accelerates due to the motor speed torque curve and the load speed torque curve. DOL starting having a maximum start current and maximum start torque is 100%. This may cause an electrical problem if which the supply, or it may cause a mechanical problem, or it can damage the motor with the driver load. So this will be inconvenient for the user of the supply line always experience a voltage drop. Okay, we go through the application for DOL. For application where the starting currents do not cause a dip in the line voltage, although it is 100%. Direct online starter are used for small water pumps, conveyor belts, fans, and compressors. The DOS starter are used for motor having low power ratings. Okay, this is an example of application for DOS starter motor, fans, conveyor belts, and compressor. Okay, for the advantages for the DOS motor starter, direct online starter provides 100% torque at starting. It is more comfortable, simple to operate and control, and is very cheap and economical starter. Okay, for the last point is disadvantages for DOL. The starting current of the motor do not reduce. DOS starter is only suitable for motor of rating less than 10 kilowatt. It cannot use for motor that have 10 kilowatt. The mechanical stress on the mechanical system is increased because of unnecessary high starting torque, even when not required by the law, and this is very dangerous for machine life. Okay, thank you. You can visit the website if you want more information about the DOS starter motor. I checklist it for the website. Okay, and thank you for watching my video, and I will let my turn off to the next presenter, that is Muhammad Ihsan. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ihsan Shamsuddin, and I'll be talking about the forward reverse direct online starter motor. So this motor is a reversible DOL motor, and the content that we will learn in this topic is the control circuit, the power circuit and their connections, the motor characteristic, which is its power, horsepower, starting current and its starting torque, the principle of operation, how to start the motor, how to stop the motor, the applications where it's used in the industry, and the advantages and disadvantages. So let's go next. So introduction. Forward reverse DOL starter motor is a DOL type motor with reversible or swept face to reverse the rotor's rotation. So it's basically the same DOL with extra line to insert a reverse face where the face is swept to make the rotors went to the opposite direction. So this allow the motor to be controlled into direction clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay, this is useful for any engines that need to have two directions, where the rotor will go counterclockwise and clockwise, which can be controlled in this type of motor. So let's go to the basic circuit. The first circuit is the control circuit. So in this circuit, first the output of the wire is connected to the lamp L3 and then to the overload, normally open, and then to the input overload, normally close, to complete the circuit. Then the output of this overload relay is connected to the stop push button, normally close, and then it's connected to the forward, normally open switch, and then there's a forward contactor to F2, which is normally open, connected in parallel with the forward switch. So and then the output of the forward is connected to the R1. R1 is controlled by this coil, R coil, and F2 is controlled by the F coil. So and then the output is connected to the F coil, and parallel to it is lamp L1, and then the output of this F is connected to the lamp L3. So the same applies to reverse. The reverse is normally open, and there's R2 parallel to it, which is controlled by R coil, and then there's F1 normally closed, controlled by F coil and connected to the R coil, and then there's parallel lamp connected to the R coil and then connected to the L3, which is the end to complete circuit. So let's go next. This is power circuit. In the power circuit, in the power circuit, the three-phase RYB is connected to the circuit breaker. And first, let's say about the forward contactor. At the forward contactor, the current will go through here when it's closed. This is open, the reverse is open. And when you go through here, and then it will go through to the motor in direct, just straight away. But in the reverse, it changed, where the one wire will go to the 6 wire, and the 3 wire will go to the 4 wire. This is the only same thing, but in the 5 wire is connected to the 2 wire. Unlike this 1 2, this is 1 6, and unlike this 3 4, this is equal 3 4, while 5 6 become 5 2 in the reverse contactor. So 2 of the 3 phase is swapped to reverse the current, making the reverse contactor usage is to reverse the rotor's direction. Okay, so motor characteristic. Okay, first let's talk about the power and HP range. The power and HP range of the motor is 5 horsepower and below. This because it have a huge voltage drop after starting the motor. That's why it's only 5 horsepower and below. The starting current is very high, which is 5 to 8 times of full load current. And the starting torque is also very high, which is nearly 100% of the starting torque. So, let's see the principle of operation, the starting and the stopping the motor. So let's see at the circuit. So this is the forward reverse control circuit. So let's see how the forward reverse DOL starter works. First, you will run through the overload relay, and the output then connected to the stop push button and then to the forward push button. When the forward push button is pressed, the current will go through here and go through the forward push button and then through the R normally closed, and then energize the F coil. When the F coil is energized, the normally closed F contactor will normally open F contactor will close and let the current through it, even after the forward push button is being released. And the F coil being energized also make the F contactor here normally closed being open, so the current cannot go through the reverse even when it's being pressed. So to stop the circuit, the stop push button is the normally closed stop push button is open. When it's open, there's no more current go through the entire circuit, so the F coil will be de-energized and the magnetic field in the F coil will be slowly depleted. So the F contactor normally will be open again and the F contactor will be closed again. So now when the button go to the reverse, When the reverse push button is pressed, the current will go through and through the F contactor normally close and then energize the R coil. When the R coil is energized, the R coil here will be open and the R coil here will be closed, and it will let the current still go through here even when the reverse push button is being released, finishing the circuit. Okay, that's all. So let's see its application. So its application is mixing of materials. So mixing of materials, we will use a belt conveyor. So another application is time machine and package sorter. All of them use the same principle, which used in the machine, where the machine can go in two directions. The advantages and the disadvantages. The advantages is it's simple and starter design. Second is economical and cheap starter, and is easily operated and controlled. So let's see its disadvantage. The disadvantage is being a DOL starter means it does not reduce starting current. Very high starting current may not suitable for most machine. Mechanically harsh thermal stress on the motor reduce its life. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Amir Haikal bin Khairul Anwar. My matrix number is AA191025. Okay, for the assignment one for the electrical machine and drive, I am in charge in doing for describe about servo motor, about the basic circuit application, characteristic, about the advantage and disadvantage of the servo motor. Okay, for the servo motor, okay, for the introduction, a servo motor is most commonly used for the high technology device in the industrial application like automation technology. It is a self-contained electrical system that with the high efficiency and good precision rotates out of the unit. In addition, the output shaft of this motor can be shifted to a specific angle, mainly used in the home, electronic, toys, automobiles, airplanes, and many more items. Servo motors are used. A servo motor is a rotary actuator or a motor that allows for a precise control in terms of the angular position, acceleration, and velocity. Basically, it has certain capabilities that a regular motor does not have. Consequently, it makes use of a regular motor and pairs it with a sensor for position feedback. Okay, this is the diagram for the basic circuit for servo motor. As you can see at my up here, this is the basic circuit for servo motor. Each motor has three inputs. There is VCC, field, and periodic square wave signal. From the application circuit above, the square wave pulse width Y defines the velocity direction of the servo motors, in our case to allow the system to move forward, backward, and turn left and right. We just need to change the direction. The motor can drive in a clockwise or clockwise direction if the pulse width is within a certain time limit. The motor will drive in a counterclockwise direction if the pulse width exceeds the time frame. The middle time frame can be modified within the motor using a Boolean potentiometer. Okay, for the characteristic for the servo motor, for the power range, that is the power supply voltage is specific for each type of servo motor and depend on the application. The common servo motor power in range of 4 to 6 volts. So the range for the servo motor powered in range of 4 to 6 volts. 4 volt to 6 volt, and the starting current is in range for 100 milliampere to 2 ampere. For the starting torque is typical value of torque of servo motor are in the range of 0.5 to 10 kilogram per centimeter. Okay, for the principle of operation for the servo motor, in digital control, microcontroller used for generating the PWM signal, or we call as pulse width meter, pulses in terms of duty cycle to produce more accurate control signal. The position sensor provides a feedback signal corresponding to the present position of the load. This sensor is normally a potentiometer that produces the voltage corresponding to the absolute angle of the motor shaft through gear mechanism. Then the feedback voltage value applies on the input of error amplifier. A negative feedback amplifier is the error amplifier, and it decreases the gap between its input. This contrasts the voltage associated with the desired motor position, and it generates the error as a position or negative voltage. This error voltage was applied to the engine armature. If the error is greater, more output is given to the motor armature. The amplifiers amplify the voltage of the error and drive the armature. When the error becomes zero, the motor rotates. The armature voltage reverses if the error is negative, and thus the armature rotates in the opposite direction. Okay, next for the application of the servo motor. First, there is a lot of application, and this is what I have put in my video presentation. For the first one, we have automatic door openers. For the automatic door openers, such as it used in the supermarket and hospital entrance, are prime example of automatic door openers controlled by servo motor. Whether the signal to open is via push plate beside the door for handicap access or by radio transmitter position properly. Okay, next we have metal cutting and metal forming machine. Metal cutting and metal forming machine is used in the industrial. It provides precise motion control for milling machine, lattice grinding, centering, punching, pressing, and bending in metal fabrication for such items as jolly to automotive wheel. Okay, next we have robotics. We have camera autofocus to use servo motor to focus more accurate for the camera. And next we have solar tracking system. That is for the solar tracking system. To the day, servo motor can change the orientation of the solar panel, so each panel continues to face the sun, resulting in optimal energy being harnessed from sunlight to sunset. So for the solar tracking system, we can know if the we can know sun for the it can be orientation for the solar panel. Okay, for the advantage of the solar, the advantage of the servo motor is, first, it was small in size. Second, high efficiency. Third, closed loop cooperation. Fourth, high accuracy. Fifth, smooth running. Sixth, torque control. 7, high speed performance, and lastly, quiet operation. Okay, for the disadvantage of the servo motor requires turning to stabilize the feedback loop. Second, become unpredictable when something breaks. Third, complex controller requires encode and electronic support. Fourth is high cost, and it is not suitable to prevent vibration, because when stopped the servo motor, the motor rotor continues to move back and forth one pulse. Okay, that's all for my presentation about the servo motor. That's all from me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Nazmi Mishariza. My metric number is AA191115. Today I would like to present about stepper motor. Okay, this is stepper motor and this is inside the stepper motor. And this is a basic key of the controller stepper motor. This this stator for the motor, and inside it have one magnet inside there, and it is a rotor. Stepper motor is the brushless motor, and we can see here, the have brush, and it have electromagnet here, and is a magnet here. The stepper motor is a brushless synchronous electronic motor that transforms a digital pulse into a mechanical rotation of the shaft. So this rotor will be what? Apa lah? The purpose of this motor is usually because it is have a low cost, high frequency, high low speed torque, and simple. It's durable design that work in almost every environment. So this is a basic circuit of the this diagram is basic circuit of the stepper motor controller. Uh, the driver circuit use 4 transistor here, transistor SL100 to drive a motor winding. This winding as a two NOT gate and one SOR gate to decode the 2-bit control logic to drive a 4 winding of the motor. This winding here I think this winding. So okay, driver circuit. Okay, the driver circuit have two driving. It is a unpolar and bipolar stepper motor driver. For this is simple one. The driver is used to protect against the motor spike. Okay, for protect it, put a diode in the parallel with the winding. This makes sure diode can handle the winding current. So through the current, so this diode can manage the current flow to this winding. Next is unipolar stepper motor. It have two switch here. First one is used to Darlington transistor, and second one is used as power field effect transistor. Okay, next is bipolar stepper driver. This diagram here. Bipolar stepper drive use H brake to energize the winding the motor. Okay, next characteristic. Okay, from the graph here we can see have two line white and red and blue. The blue graph is a full in torque. They show a maximum torque. Stepping rate for the barrel value of the load torque at which the motor can start, synchronize, stop, or reverse. But for the red one, it is a pull out torque. It shows here the maximum stepping rate of the motor where it can run for the various value of load torque, but it cannot start, stop, or reverse. In this red. So for the current and voltage, commonly we use an NEMA 70. Its voltage is 2.8 volt and maximum current used is 1.68 ampere. Now the power range. Okay, we talk about the power range. Actually, the stepper motor don't have a power range because it's not spin constantly. there is no horsepower rating, because if they spin continuously, they do not ever exceed a rating potential of fractional horsepower. This motor is a very compact low power machine, similar to other motors. Okay, untuk principal operation dia. Okay, for this principal operation, stepper motor use electromagnetize to generate what I say, motor operation or concept of this motor is electromagnetize. Okay, it requires a rotor made of a permanent magnet. See here, as you can see, it's a permanent magnet, and the stator is made of electromagnet, so current can flow from here to here and generate electromagnet button. Yeah, okay. As the supply give the winding of the stator, magnet field would be established inside the stator. The rotor in the motor is now begin to shift with the spinning magnetic field of the stator. So this is basically operation theory of this too. So after the current flow, so this flux here generate a magnetic field, and it make the rotor here spin and generate the current, generate the power here. So that's it, I think. Okay, this application of the starter motor, the application inside a small robotic and medical machinery and medical environment, and 3D printing equipment. There is a application for stepper motor, and the advantage of stepper motor is the maintenance is so low maintenance. The motor has full torque standstill, as you can see. It can work in an open loop control system. So the disadvantages is low efficiency. The torque of the motor will decline fast with speed, and it's extremely noise. Yeah, agak bising. I think that's all from me, and thank you.